my stuff.
All right, guys.
We on.
Negative, nothing further. Just take care of me on the corner. That's a direct order. Do it now.
We
Good
lose sound.
afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, November the 6th, 2025. We are Roll Call, Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations. I'm here with my friends D, Tyrone, Jerry, Mark, Will, Cheech, JT. Welcome back, JT.
Thank
Jim,
you. Thank you.
D, and the Quiet Storm, the marathon runner.
Yay, come.
Listen, now, if you want to keep your numbers down, that's how you do it, Kyle. Keep doing all that long distance running. That'll bring your numbers down. And we're talking about sugar level, heart rate, like all that stuff. Exercise will definitely do it for you. So let's go with our moment of silence and intro and moment of silence.
You're on mute, Don.
I meant that so I wouldn't make any noise too. So, but thank you so much for that, D. That was much appreciated. And one of those pictures was one of the latest from the Hempstead Police Department, police officer Mitch Rubenstein, and behind him was a picture of Lieutenant Richard Post. And both of them have passed on. So we're praying for the family of Rubenstein family, his wife, Sue, what's her name? Suzanne? Sue. But we're praying for Sue and his two children. We're praying for them as well. Let me put this hat that myself and Dee are wearing is a hat in memory of my son Donald Butler Jr. This was his design, and so my daughter actually took over and started selling these hats. So Dee and Mark I think has already purchased some, and Derek, and so we have a few of these hats around. But listen, I'm gonna ask that oh, Cheech, will you do our disclaimer?
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Before we get started, we wanted to go over a couple of things. First and foremost, want to let you know that the comments made by members of Roll Call are the opinions of each individual. They are not intended to be legal advice or suggestions. Remember that the laws change from village to village, city to city, state to state. So please consult with your local police department or a local attorney for any legal advice. Also, in order to spark our conversations, we do display videos and photographs. They are integral part of the conversations that we have. Some of these may be graphic in nature. They are not intended to offend anybody. Please do not take offense to it. A member of the panel will let you know if we're going to play one that may be a little too graphic for you. So you don't have to see it. They are not the property of Roll Call. We get these videos from social media like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all that good stuff. So you have access to it as well. Also, we want to let you know that the language used by our members is very spontaneous. Everybody here speaks from the heart. We speak our truth. We don't hold back. Please don't take offense to it. We don't. You might see that we do not agree sometimes on some things, but we never take it personal, and we don't get offended, and we hope that you don't. If you have any questions or comments, please put them on the chat, and one of our members will try to address it. Thank you.
ST Jude.
Thank you, Cheech. I'm over here trying to turn off some stuff.
Jude.
Okay, thank you so much. My phone's in the background ringing. Thank you so much. Anybody want to do a statement of purpose, or you want me to try to hit it? All right, no volunteers there. Listen, all I'm gonna say is this: we are a group of retired law enforcement with some civilians, and we try to bridge the gap between community and police. And not only that, but we believe that all lives matter, especially Black lives matter, and we also believe in equitable policing. That policing should be done fairly across the board. That's my statement of purpose. At this time, we want to pray. We're praying for JT in Orlando, who JT's back with us. We're praying for Cheech and Anna and Cheech's cousin. There's have a situation going on. We're praying for Matthews, who's with us right now. We're praying for. Listen. I should be praying for Dave, because Dave looks like he about to get married on us, y'all. I don't know, but Dave is back with us. Hey, Dave, let me pull that back for Dave. Choke me to death. Dave called me out over there mess out. Listen, I'm messing with Dave, y'all. I'm messing with Dave. Dave has not spoken to me about anything like that, but I just felt like messing with him because we haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. And we got the quiet storm here, Kyle. Kyle's been out there running daggone marathons, y'all. Now Kyle is not 15 years old. She out there running marathon. My good friend Reverend Jeffrey Crenshaw was out there, ran 26 point whatever miles y'all ran. He was out there running that 26.2. He ran it as well. He's in his 50s, late 50s, I believe, but mid to late 50s. He ran it. I wish I did have that kind of endurance. Now, I'm in the gym, and I like working out. I like lifting weights. There it is. There it is. I got the seats. It showed me that this morning in the meeting I had this morning. That's congratulations to you. Listen, that's really something else when you can just complete 26.2 miles. Forget how fast you did it. Just do it. Some of us don't do 26.6 miles in a whole month. But and then we have another challenge going on. I want to mention that we have another challenge that Dee presented to us, a push-up challenge. And so I encourage all of you to get up in there. If you can only do 5 push-ups, listen, if you can only do 5 push-ups, do it. I do 55 push-ups a day, except for Saturday and Sunday. I don't mess with the weekends. But I'm gonna try to get this 2,000 push-ups in for the month. Which Cheech, you figured out to be about 67 push-ups a day. So if I do my 55, I can do another 20. I should be pretty good for the month, catching up with those weekends. I don't do weekend stuff either. And I know who's all in it, D? Before we get going, I know I did it.
We got
Will.
Will. We got Cheech. We got two Jerry Barrows in it. Two Jerry Barrows people in it.
Not
Okay.
me though,
That's it.
but my
Don't
baby.
we got two. We got two. Two of the babies, the Barrows babies, are
Okay.
going with us. So they gonna get involved with us. So
The, the mark hands go on?
You can count me in.
all right, Mark's in. Oh, go. There you go. There you go.
Okay. So remember,
Go
we
ahead,
got,
D. I got you.
All right, we got Rich in it too. All right, I like it. Let me write it down so I don't.
make sure y'all take a video of your push-ups and send them to D.
Yeah,
He
just
said-
like
he
10-second
said-
video because I'm gonna make a collage of all everybody.
Okay.
Anyone who's had a weight increase at their most recent physical is obligated to get in on the push-up challenge.
And that ain't me, but I'm gonna try to get me something in there. Like
You
told
can
me, I'm
forget it.
bony and scary. But
I
I'm
go
gonna
to
try
the
to
gym,
get
I
something
work
in
out.
there.
I ain't in no push.
Because it is for a
You
good
can
cause.
forget it.
I'm
It's for a good cause.
gonna do it because it's a challenge for one, and plus I just like doing some kind of exercise, so I'm gonna do that. Dave, you look good, man. You look good over there. You look like you just left the barbershop too.
I sure did. That Dominican hooked me up.
You look like you just left the barber.
I
But
sure did.
okay. So anybody with anything before we go forward? JT, you good?
I'm good. I'm
Can
not
I-
pushing up though.
Can I just say something that I haven't shared?
Yeah, one
My-
quick second,
my-
Jerry.
I'm sorry.
Rich, good. Thanks for joining, Rich. I know Rich came on. Usually Rich is a little bit earlier, so I'm glad you came on. Go ahead, Jerry.
I'm sorry. I was about to let you know. I haven't. My granddaughters, who are going to be helping with our challenge, their father, who is only 47 years old, had a stroke in May, and he had to have brain surgery 2 days ago from the bleeds that he was having. So
Wow.
he is my daughter's ex, but he is my granddaughter's father.
Wow.
So please, I'm saying prayers are wanted. Thank you for Khalif. Just saying, thank you.
Right.
Real quick, Don, an acknowledgement. When we did tap at the outset, the first picture that came up was a gentleman was stated he was the last survivor of Pearl Harbor. So that is a particular note. And of course, Veterans Day is coming up on Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Our respect due to all of our veterans.
Exactly. And I'm not a veteran, but I respect veterans very, very much. Also, one of our listeners, Beverly Harrison Wells, I told her I may invite her to come talk with us one day on the show. Cheech would know her. She worked with
That's County Sheriff's.
Sheriff's Department as a civilian. And her grandson, Stefan, who's a photographer as well, went to do a wedding, I think she said in California, somewhere in the West Coast, Nevada, California. And on the way back, the plane took a drop. And thank God he had a seatbelt on, because even with a seatbelt on, he was still injured. I think there was like 20-some people injured on a JetBlue plane. I don't know if you ever read that, if anyone's seen that. Well, she actually reached out to me on Sunday, and I spoke to her on Sunday on the way home from church, and she said, keep him in prayer, because he did get injured on that drop. I mean, a serious drop. And initially, I thought it was turbulence. She said, no, it's mechanical.
Oof.
That's something else, and it's her grandson. So we want to make sure we keep her and her grandson in our prayers as well. All right. Anybody else? Jerry, I see you. You make faces. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I am, and I'm sorry. My
Don't be sorry.
daughter is about to leave on Monday, flying to India. And based on all of the stuff that's going on, she's got to go from Jersey, if she can get out, to Dubai to go to, I always forget the name. I can't pronounce the name of the part of India, but she's flying because she does a lot of flights. And I pray that she will have safe travels all of next week.
Absolutely.
Travel mercies.
Yeah,
Because the things that are going on with planes right now, they're about to shut things down like tomorrow, right?
Well, yeah, tomorrow they're going to shut down 10% of flights in 40 major airports.
Newark. She's flying out of Newark.
Well, that's a major, and so is LaGuardia, and so is Kennedy.
Yes.
Those are and LAX.
LAX.
Those are major airports, and So we're praying for our nation. I really believe we're getting closer to opening up this government because it's starting to affect more than just poor people.
Yes.
It's starting to affect everybody.
You don't care about poor people.
So let's keep that in mind as well. All right, listen. D gonna get us started with our first video. This video. When I saw this video, I haven't seen all these videos, y'all, but this one here, when I said this guy is absolutely nuts. But go ahead and show the one. This is a police officer trying to run over a person in the police car. Now, I will say this. I knew of some people that did the same thing.
Hey, yo, what the f? You gonna hit him with the car? Yo, what the f?
Come back with that, D.
If there's one thing we've learned
start that over.
from the internet, it's that a viral video is often just one chapter of a much.
What the f? You gonna hit him with the car? Yo, what the f, bro?
If there's one thing we've learned from the internet, it's that a viral video is often just one chapter of a much bigger story. And that's exactly what we're looking at in Baltimore, where this shocking footage has already led to the suspension of a police officer. The officer at the center of the video has been publicly identified as Robert A. Parks. And while the official internal investigation is just getting started, a narrative is emerging from witness accounts about how this all began. It reportedly started when Officer Parks first approached the group of individuals and told them to move from their location. According to these accounts, the group complied and moved. But this is where it gets tense. The story continues that shortly after, Officer Parks allegedly reapproached the same group. This time, he reportedly singled out one of the men, demanding, "Come here." And here's a detail that witnesses claim was the flashpoint. When a man asked why he was being told to come here, the officer allegedly refused to provide a reason. It was reportedly this breakdown, this confrontation over a simple question that escalated into the chaotic and dangerous scene that was caught on camera.
Straight up. No, all right.
Yeah, what's your reason to stop me? You ain't even got no reason to stopping him, bro. Hey, yo, walk off. How did you hit the alley, yo? Go ahead, Trey, walk off, yo. He beating me. He ain't even got no reason to stop me. Hey, yo, what the f? You gonna hit him with the car? Yo, what the f, bro? Yo, hell no, yo. Hey, yo. Come back this way, yo. Yo, beating, bro. Lost his eyes. Hey, dummy. You dumbass. You dumbass. You crashing and all that. You really crashing out, bro. Go ahead, crash. Really crashing out, bro. You crashed his car and all that, bro. Don't really try to hit my mask, bro. What the f? Don't really try to hit, bro, with the car and all that. Oh, hell no.
Yeah, you just saw that. A marked police patrol car driving off the pavement onto a grassy field and through an alleyway in what looks like a clear attempt to run a man down. All while the person filming is literally asking, "What's your reason to stop him?" You don't even have no reason to stop him. Unfortunately for Officer Parks, that bystander captured everything. And let's just say, once that video hit the internet, things spiraled downhill faster than his patrol car on that grassy field. First, the official consequences. The Baltimore Police Department immediately suspended Officer Parks' police powers. He's been benched, put on administrative duty while they run a full internal affairs investigation. And unlike other videos we see, there was no victim card to play, no my side of the story. The official reaction was swift and decisive. Baltimore's police commissioner, Richard Worling, called the video disturbing and alarming.
We had to make sure the video was real, and then it was just one of those, like, oh no, I knew what it was going to be. It's just egregious. That's not what we teach our officers to do. It's not what we want our officers doing, and it's going to damage our relationship with the community.
See, the entire Baltimore Police Department has been under a federal consent decree since 2017. That's a court-enforced, legally binding reform plan to stop the department from engaging in, you guessed it, unconstitutional and discriminatory policing. It's literally a program to force the BPD to rebuild trust. This incident was so bad, it was brought up in the middle of a federal court hearing about that consent decree. The commissioner himself had to stand up and admit that this one video is going to damage our relationship with the community, which is the thing that we're trying to build up the most. So this isn't just one officer having a bad day. This is an officer on duty in a department that is under federal orders to clean up its act. Caught on camera doing the exact thing that broke the city's trust in the first place.
Absolutely. Before I get to Dave, let me just go ahead and recognize some of our viewers. We got Butler. We got Ruth Caffey. We got Beverly Harrison Wells. Said hope all are well. We got Eric Jones. Good Tiger for life. Eric says hello to everyone. Ruth Caffey says hello to everyone. Natasha Jackson, that's my niece. She says hello to everyone. Donald Coleman is watching. Karen Caffey is watching. She says good afternoon. Natasha Jackson says way to go. Beryl McMillan is watching. Beryl McMillan says hello to everyone. Donald Coleman, good afternoon, everyone. Beverly Wells says thank you for your prayers. Richard Bowden is a cousin of mine. He says howdy. Eva, one of my members as well, she's watching. Eva says good afternoon to everyone. Donald Coleman says you see he not in good shape to chase him, so he thought it was okay to run him down. And Donald Coleman's in his 80s. Karen Caffey spoke about, I guess, the shutdown stuff. It says if his 1%ers in the NFL, NBA, television, airline, hotel, and hospitality industries speak up, this extended paid time off might end. Government shutdown is what we're talking about on that one. Carl Saunders says that cop needs to be under Giant Stadium with Jimmy Hoffa. My sister Marsha Butler says, good afternoon, everyone. And Derek McBride is watching. So listen, this is my list. I got Dave. Yes.
Can I make an acknowledgement? A work mother of mine from my first department, Flora Parrish, is watching with us. She was at the department when I arrived, and she retired a couple of years ago, and she was like a work mother to me. So I appreciate her taking the time out of her day. And of course, Marsha Butler is on here as well.
Yeah. So you said what's that, Parker? What was the first name?
Flora Parrish.
Flora Parrish. That's Derek's wife's maiden name, Parrish.
Okay.
Flora Parrish is watching. Thank you, Miss Flora Parrish, and thank you for taking care of Will Quick. All right. Let me say it. So my order is Dave, Will, Jim, and D.
All right. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Listen, I got up on the grass before to go get somebody, but it was a homicide situation. Okay, I wasn't trying to hit him, but I was trying to get him before he got to those woods and that fence. You know what I mean? And but this guy here, man, you know, Baltimore, that's down here. Baltimore's been going through some shit, man, for years because we were kids, man. Okay, and people do call when these kids are hanging out in the alleyway doing what they do. I get it. But you know what, man? You know you have a consent decree, and you know you're on video. Okay? And I know he's a veteran cop, too. That guy ain't no young boy. That cop ain't no rookie. He's a veteran. He been in the thick of it back. You know he has. And I just think, man, he just had enough, man. He just went nuts. And but you know, I've gone, people on here listening, Yup, I had some of y'all know I worked in the Queens Homicide Squad, South Jamaica, Queens. Man, let me tell you something. I damn near went into the Marshall on Brookville Avenue getting the guy. Okay, thank God he got stuck in there because it's quicksand in there. You know, Brookville, you know, Snake Road over there near the airport. You run up in that joint, you stuck waist deep. Okay, so aviation had to go get him out of there. You know, he done shot at 5 people, killed 3. You know, and I seen him, man. And that dude ran all the way down Snake Road, and I was on the sidewalk in the sand, in the weeds, trying to get him to stop. But I wasn't trying to run him over because I'm not trying to kill no daggone body either. But you know what, man? This situation is a little different. I just think he just had enough. And you know, plus, you know, he wasn't about to chase nobody. And those kids were giving him some stuff, you know, with the mouth and stuff, you know, and he just had enough. And I don't know if they got, you know, maybe they're gonna fire him. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna fire him or not, but I just don't know. But because, you know, they might give him, if he looked like he's a 20-year veteran at least. You know?
He look like a 100-year veteran.
Yeah. You know, so I'm like, you know, I don't know, man. But I know Baltimore down here. You know what I mean? You know, all brothers ain't brothers down there, or some brothers are mothers. I just leave it there.
All right. Listen, my assistant, AC said my order was a little off, so it's actually D's turn, then Will, Jim, Rich, and Mark.
All right, really quick. Yeah, I got to keep my sound on, so my hand drops. So
I know
it happens. So really quick, I happen to spend a lot of my time. I got a place down in Baltimore, so this was very familiar to me. And I don't know whether anybody here is going to say it, but I'm going to say it. There's rules, officers. I don't know whether y'all have read your policy book. We have a field manual, an admin manual. We have about 8 books we have to carry around with us. There's rules. And that is against about 8 or 9 different rules. You can't even shoot at a car when the guy's trying to drive at you and he ain't using nothing else to get at you. On my job, maybe Hempstead's different. So if somebody's trying to hit you with the car, it doesn't give you the right to shoot at the car, much less hit somebody with a car. Now, I've seen some of these pursuits and they end, and that's a part of the pursuit policy now. And I went to the policy book. Our recent one, it still ain't in there. I don't know whether we're watching too many YouTube videos and this seems like the right things to do, officers, but that's against the rules. Chasing somebody with a car, hitting somebody with the car to make sure they don't, that's not a part of the rules. We got some supervisors in there. I see Will, I see Jim, a bunch of supervisors in here.
Yourself.
Well, no, because I was gonna say, you know what a car accident report looks like? I'm looking for something around here. I don't have nothing big enough in my basement. You'll be writing for the next 6 months on a fender bender.
Yeah.
On a southern state. Oh, I couldn't stop and I hit you. You go, man, I'd rather pay for you to fix the car. It's not worth it. So I get where these agencies are, and I know Jim said he wanted to talk about ICE, and I hope we do talk about that, Jim. But these officers are violating the basic rules in the spirit of something else that doesn't follow any of the rules. Hiding your face, driving after people, you can't do these things. There are rules when you're a law enforcement officer. If you can take all the rules regular citizens have, multiply it by 10, that's what it's like walking around with a badge and gun. Am I right, guys? You got rules, and the rules, you can't walk there, you can't say this, you can't do that. You can't eat with this hand in your pocket. You can't, it's crazy. So I'm saying that to say there's nothing right about this. I don't want anybody to think there's any justification. If you can't do your job and you're out of shape, you're talking to the wrong guy, you shouldn't be doing the job. I'm sorry. That's not an excuse. I didn't want to run. Well, that's not an excuse.
That's right.
Or all of us had to run, jump, hang, slide, glide, fall off the. It's just a job. If he's running, you run. Am I the only one? He take off running, I take off running behind him. Other than that, we can cordon off the area if we're using our cars, but that's about it. So this driving over people, what was you gonna do if you caught them? You just gonna hit them with the car? That's what we're gonna do. We just gonna hit them with the car, and then poor Jim shows up like this. What in the devil? That's all I got.
All right, listen. Richard Ballard says the internal affairs investigation will take weeks. If Joe Citizen did that to a cop, he'd be arrested the same day. That's why the public doesn't trust police investigating their own. Absolutely. Listen, that was really on point. And when this was going on, Richard Ballard, I was saying to myself, this is one of the reasons why the public don't trust the police, because maybe they were. I think someone said earlier that maybe we're talking too much junk, or we don't know what we're doing. But listen. Your skin is supposed to be thicker than that. People talking junk to you, calling you fat, calling you ugly, calling you a rat, call you whatever. Especially those of us who lived in the same community we worked in. We all were rats, snitching on people. Well, I ain't snitching. I ain't involved in this stuff. I'm correcting what I'm doing. I ain't snitching on nobody. If you do something wrong, expect me to show up. Because that was my job. But let me see. I got Will, Jim, Rich, Mark, and Jerry.
So I'm gonna go into Carl Sanders' comment before I start. It says, "What was the purpose of asking the guys to move? It's abuse of authority." And Carl, you're right. I'm a firm believer in order to address the totality of it, you got to start from the beginning. Now, that being said, there are municipalities that have anti-loitering, usually ordinances. And the reason why they probably have those ordinances is because they've shown crime stats where people have a tendency to congregate, and you have 911 complaints that are associated with those locations. So they will utilize what's normally an ordinance to encourage people to move along. But it's something that you have to be careful with, because it does tend to have a focus of enforcement on minority groups. I'll say it that way. Now, as far as what we just saw, there is no justification. But here's the question for those of us on this panel and those listening. When you use your vehicle in such a manner, is that or is that not considered deadly force? So if it's considered deadly force, that a reasonable person would say that their life was imminently in threat for serious injury or bodily harm, and this is the what if part, what kind of conversation would we be having right now if the guy pulled out a gun and fired at the officer?
He'd be justified. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I'm done.
If that happened, I'm running them right over. I don't give a damn. I'm going to live to tell the story.
No, he said the opposite. What happened to the guy?
No.
Because
I heard what Will said. Will said, well, the guy had a gun and turned around and started firing shots. I'm running him over.
But you already in violation. That's another story. But
no,
anyway.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
I'm sorry. Mute.
No. You don't think so, Dave?
No, I'm not.
No?
Dave, that's like two wrongs, huh?
No, I'm not.
You just doubled this on your initial wrongdoing to begin with.
Yeah, you initiated that.
Let me tell you something, man. I seen it in Queens when two cops got shot at in Queens Village in the 105 back. Remember the years we had in the late 80s and 90s when we had 2,000 homicides a year in New York City?
But that ain't this.
It's a similar. This is not this. You're right. But you just brought up, what if the guy turns around with a gun? And that's what I'm trying to tell. That's what I'm commenting off that.
Right, but a gun in the context of this scenario, not just in general. A gun in the context of this scenario. That's why I prefaced it by saying, do we agree that the manner in which that officer was operating that vehicle was that or would that reasonably be considered deadly force, whether it was from a law enforcement officer perspective or the general public? And
Yeah.
if the answer is yes,
Mm-hmm.
and if
Yeah,
it's
I
deadly
understand that.
force, then whatever force is necessary to neutralize that deadly threat is considered justifiable. Am I right or wrong?
It's justifiable only if that gun was legal. But I know what you're saying, though. I know what you're
But the
saying,
gun being legal is a whole separate
That's
issue.
different issue.
That's a
Yeah.
separate issue. In the
Okay,
moment,
this
if one
scenario
of us
here,
is strapped,
no, this scenario, you're right. You're
if
right.
one of us is strapped and we can't legally carry a gun, but we face a deadly encounter, now that goes back to what Dave was saying. I might not be legally carrying that gun, but if I'm facing a deadly encounter and I pull out my illegal gun and neutralize that threat, and that's it. The issue of whether or not I'm gonna be charged with unaliving that person should be moot because it's justified. The issue about the illegal gun, that's got to be dealt with.
Oh, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with
I don't
that.
agree with that either,
How
man.
so?
I'm like, wait a minute, man.
I really don't agree with that. I mean, I watch too many of these police shows anyway. But anyway, I listen. It's like a person driving without insurance that causes an accident, and they say, well, you didn't have insurance in the first place. You shouldn't have been on the road. You're charged with not having insurance plus the fault of having the accident. I mean, it's not just like, well, okay, the accident doesn't even count, but you know.
But the fault of the accident has to do with your driving, not the fact that you don't have a driver's license. It's still behavioral.
Well, I was just talking about insurance. That's why I said something insurance, not even license. That you have a license. I'm just talking about you should be on the road. You don't have insurance.
Right, but with insurance, that's the liability aspect. I'm talking about behaviorally speaking and looking at it from what the officer did and what would have been a reasonable response from the young man that he was trying to run over.
You know what? I'm glad there's other. Oh shoot! Well, we're doing all
I'm
this.
going to say, why y'all doing that?
We got Kyle sitting right here.
Yeah.
But Mark had his hand up real quick. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I think what Will is saying, let's take the scenario to Florida. Stand your ground state. Okay, the guy on the street, and you have a cop coming at him trying to kill him when all he was doing was standing on the street. And this guy has a gun, and it's a stand your ground state. Because you're looking at use of that vehicle as a deadly weapon, is the civilian justified in using deadly physical force against that officer? That's kind of what Will was trying to say.
I was thinking the same thing.
Awesome. Will be your response, Mark, because the scenario I do understand, but I want to know what your answer is.
Well, one, realistically, he's going to get locked up, and then two, he's going to have to prove that in court. And if he kills the officer or wounds the officer, we'd have to find out why the officer felt it was necessary to use the vehicle to run this guy over. If that was found that he was wrong, they may find that the guy had a good reason to safeguard his life. But I'll defer to Kyle. Now, Kyle's coming from New York, and she may or may not want to speak on Florida because Florida and all these other states, stand your ground states, are a whole different animal. But I'll defer to her.
Good conversation,
Good luck, yo. Good luck.
Kyle, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, you all have covered it really. I mean, I agree with Will. And Mark to some extent. No, I don't want to speak on Florida because I don't know the law there. But if you are faced with a deadly physical force and you have means to defend yourself, you defend yourself, right? The means that you're using, that is a separate issue that you may have that may be, you may be charged with that, and you may have to defend on that in a separately from the fact that you had to use that tool, whatever, or that weapon to prevent yourself from being, to defend yourself. So I think there are two different issues here. And, if the police officer in this scenario that we saw, he's running around trying to kill the man and run him down. If the guy had some way of stopping that vehicle and preventing his own death, then has every right to utilize that. to do that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of nuances here, but and you're right, Mark. You have to make sure that the officer wasn't justified in doing what he did. But barring that, I think that self-defense is legitimate here.
Okay.
If I can make this quick point, when we all saw that video, there wasn't a question in my mind about whether or not that officer was wrong.
Right.
I introduced a potential scenario, especially with the popularity of the Second Amendment rights and stand your ground and all that stuff, a very reasonable twist on the scenario. And now we switch to whether or not was the officer doing something that could be, construed as being appropriate or whatever. How did we switch that when the facts were the facts as far as what the officer did? How did we switch that?
Well, I don't know that we switched it. It's just that remains to be the answer, a question to be answered, that whether or not it was his actions were reasonable or not, or adhered to the policies of the police department or not. That's sort of like a threshold question. So I don't know that was switched.
Okay.
Not in my mind anyway. I don't think
Good
so.
discussion, y'all. Thank you for the discussion, for real. And it may come back anyway. But I have this is my order. Jim, Rich, Mark, when you responded to something else. It wasn't for your hand. So you're after Rich, then Jerry, AC. That's the order. Okay, so go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I'm going to take it right back to just what we saw. I'm going to put the other deadly physical force stuff aside for a second.
Okay.
What I saw was very simple. I saw a cop that didn't like the fact that this kid wasn't listening to him. He was not in shape to chase him. He got in his car and chased him with his car. I don't know what the heck he was going to do if he caught up to him. Hit him with his car, jump out. I don't know what he was doing. And then he goes in and he gets into a fender bender. And somebody said it before. He'd be very lucky if I wasn't the lieutenant on duty and showed up at that scene. Because the question just jumped at me as soon as he got back in his car. I would say, hold it. What are you going to do here? What are you chasing him for? What's the reason for this chase in the first place? I would love to have known his answer. Oh, he didn't listen to me? What is your answer, officer, that you're going to chase him? Even if you chase him on foot, what are you chasing this individual for? Oh, he didn't listen to me when I said him to come over here. So this thing was bad from Jump Street. Without adding anything to it, that cop is in serious trouble, and he is lucky I wasn't on the scene. That's it.
Rich?
Okay, good afternoon. Yeah, I mean, we all saw the video. The officer was wrong. I don't know his reasons for his actions. I don't know what kind of day he was having, what was in his mind. But, it's assault with a deadly weapon as a police officer. That's a felony in the state of California. You're going downhill from there. And obviously, Baltimore is having a problem. The department as a whole, there's a stigmatized, and they have some issues. And the fact that he's not pending termination is a problem for me, because that's so egregious at that point to not be suspended, not being behind it, should be gone. No ifs, ands, or buts. Do you know how many policies he broke just in that action? And also, the felony is the most important thing, assault with a deadly weapon. What was he doing? I mean, to initiate lights and siren for what? What is your response to why did you initiate lights and siren and driving crazy around the neighborhood? What was the issue? What's the crime? It's just beyond belief. He's obviously out of control and not a person who should be in the public. And it must be the fish rotten from the head in that department, or just to even consider that he's still hanging around. He should be set up for termination at this point. That's what I feel about this. I know opinions vary, but that's totally egregious. And what's happened is a malaise of lawlessness I think, throughout the country. And I think it kind of creeps into, as we well know, people that we work with in law enforcement who can't understand the difference between right and wrong, or the law when it comes to this MAGA Trump lawlessness, that we are the mighty white right and we do what we want, but we hold everybody else accountable. So I just think it's wrong, and I think if the person had a weapon and they wanted to fire back, they were entitled to protect themselves because they want to live another day. You go with this crazy cop, so of course they have to go to court and and get their point out, but they were protecting themselves if they fired back at him. So, it's just a bad scenario. The optics are bad. And once again, like we've always talked about, if you don't have the video, it didn't happen. Because it's going to be his side and their side. But the video convicts him. That's all I got. Thank you.
Real quick, because you made me think of something, and Will, maybe you can help me, and Kyle, and even others, whoever. But I was just thinking that, let's say you're a person that's walking around with an illegal gun, but someone comes and robs you with a gun, and now when they're trying to rob you, you pull out your gun and shoot him. You gonna tell me that's not murder? Or that's self-defense?
Okay,
here's the thing. It's going to be murder, but it could be justifiable.
With an illegal gun.
Well,
okay. When you say illegal gun, do you mean that you can't?
Neither one of them has a right to carry a weapon.
When you say illegal gun, do you mean that their gun privilege has been removed because of convicted felon?
I didn't say that. I just said illegal gun. Whether they can have one, or maybe they can't have one. Maybe they're in a state like New York, where New York you can't just carry a gun.
But what I'm saying is, in the context of that, whether the legality of the weapon that they're carrying is a separate issue from whether or not they were justified in using it. Is the point that I'm trying to make.
That's where my confusion's coming in. Okay.
Yes, it's a separate issue.
That's where my problem's coming in, because I'm like, you shouldn't have it anyway.
Yeah, because if you're in
your
your
home,
home,
if you use it, it's illegal.
But if you're in your home, and
all right, I didn't say home. I ain't say home.
I get that, but I'm just kind of using it as another example. If you're in your home, but you're a convicted felon, then by the law, you're not supposed to be in possession of a gun. But if there's a gun in your house, say for instance your spouse or your child, and the house is being broken into, are you going to stop and say, "Well, I'm a convicted felon, I can't defend my house"?
That part I understand. That part I'm all right with that. Yeah. I'm talking about you're in the street with an illegal gun.
Yes.
Someone tries to rob you with an illegal gun. You use your illegal gun to stop that person from robbing you. Listen, I would do it anyway, whether I'm going to jail or not. I'm gonna stop you from killing me anyway. But I still think that you'd be charged with that murder. That's what I think. But maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm way off on that. But Mark, I see your hand. You are next. So you want to continue with it?
Okay, yeah, I'll go into both. So try to answer your question, Don. It's two parts, like Kyle said before. You're using the gun, which is illegal, okay, to defend yourself, which is illegal. So you may not get charged with the murder, or if you do get charged with the murder, you'll probably beat that. However, the possession of the gun, you'll still get.
Exactly.
Another charge.
So now, are you clear with that? Are you good with that? Or
I am. I am. I just don't know if I agree with it, but I could be just totally wrong.
Well, Kyle,
what would you have him do?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have done it. I'm telling you now. I don't care if I'm going to jail or not.
But why would you do it? Why would you do it anyway?
Why'd I do what?
Why would you do it anyway? You say it's murder. Why would you murder him anyway?
To stop him from murdering me.
To defend yourself.
Yeah.
Which is justifiable in the law.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
but is it justifiable with an illegal weapon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then you answer. All right.
Now, the illegal weapon, you still have to answer to that charge.
That's another charge.
No. That part I got. The illegal weapon part I got.
Got it.
I'm just talking about the unaliving of another person.
Right. It's
an illegal weapon.
justifiable under the circumstances. Should you stand there and allow yourself to be murdered? Of course not.
No.
Right?
Listen, my argument stops right there because that's where my issue was. I'm like, I just didn't think you could use an illegal weapon, period, and not be charged with that crime. Not the illegal, not the use of the legal weapon, but the death of another person by the use of an illegal weapon. That was my issue. That was it. So if you say that that's good, then listen, I hear you.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying you may have to defend. You may have to raise that issue. You know, you have, and then the people have to rebut it beyond a reasonable doubt. Which, under those circumstances, I don't think you're going to be.
And the reason why I'm listening to you, Kyle, because I know you've been there before, and I'm saying, if a good attorney can show that, listen, the only reason why he used his weapon was to save his life. I know his weapon was illegal to save his own life. You cannot charge him. I mean, you could not find him guilty on this. I'm with you. I'm there.
Right. That's the issue.
I saw it. I just didn't know that was the case. Jim, I'll see you. Go ahead real quick.
All the things that you're talking about there were all in that Bernie Getz case back in the city. I don't know if you guys remember it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, well that's exactly what happened. What you're talking about. He had an illegal gun.
Yes.
He defended himself and shot his kids, and he was charged.
Yes.
He was charged. He was found not guilty of the assault on the first two guys. He was definitely found guilty of the gun that he shouldn't have had. And I think eventually, because he stood over one of the kids and pumped some more bullets into him, that he got charged with that as a separate incident. But you're right. It was a justified shooting.
Okay.
And charged and convicted of having the gun.
Thank you.
And Jim, also with that Bernie Getz case, one of the guys he shot who survived admitted to the detectives and the DA, okay, that they had the intention to rob him on that train.
Yeah. That was true. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, guys. I ain't gonna argue with people who know what they're talking about. And I got you. I still think the person would be charged, like you all said that though. You all said that, but thank you. For me, that was for me. Let me see.
Me, can I finish?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you want to go, Jerry?
Well, I don't know what you're about to say, but yeah, I would like to. But
wait a minute, you have to Mark, but you have to Mark.
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, so if it makes you feel more comfortable with understanding, Don, you get arrested, murder, possession of the gun. Your affirmative defense, if you recall that, would be that the guy was trying to kill you, so you defended yourself. So
self-defense.
Right. So, and I won't say you'd be guaranteed, because the courts don't work that way, but more than likely, you know, you would beat that charge and you would only have the possession of the gun. What I wanted to get at before, and it's just a little bit separate from what we're talking about, but it does relate to it, and it's just looking at it from a different angle. And tell us to your kids, when you're in the company of other people, they can get you jammed up. I'm not justifying what that officer did at all. Let me just emphasize that, at all.
Yeah.
But when you got guys who are talking smack and you got a cop that's thin-skinned, it's a recipe for disaster. The guy who was running might not have even done anything, but just not come over. He just, well, what do you want from me? But is everybody else egging the cop on that, in the cop's mind, which he's wrong, felt it was justified to do what he did? Just like they say sometime with the joke of a guy, a husband and a wife driving in a car, and the husband looks over after they get pulled over and he tells his wife, don't say anything. Don't you say anything. And next thing you know, the cop comes up and then the woman starts going off and then the guy gets 20 tickets. So, you know, be careful of company you keep, because some of your friends will get you jammed up. And
sure will.
Jim is
Good
right.
point.
He showed up. That guy would have got jammed up unless the guy was going to get his lunch. Then it was okay to go lights and sirens. That's
all right.
Damn good point. Damn good point, Mark.
Jerry, you're up, and then AC.
Okay, so my thoughts as I watched this was this officer has been working in Baltimore for, I'm going to say, a number of years. My thoughts, this was his formal submittal of his retirement papers from the city of Baltimore, because he was doing stuff that didn't make no sense. He riding up and he's just like, we're going to excuse cameras. Like, I want out, because they look and go, oh no, we can't have. He driving up all on the grass and chasing a man that didn't do nothing. This is his formal submittal of, I want to retire, let me out. And guess what? The city of Baltimore, for all the years of the things that have gone on with police, they're not going to trust the police real quick. And also, my man, he ran up on the grass and did all of this, cha-ching, he about to get paid because my man was wrong. That's my thoughts. Sorry, that's my thoughts. My man was like, I want out, that's the cop. Because that didn't make no sense, none. So I'm just saying, I know I'm not y'all police officer stuff. I'm just talking as a civilian looking at it going, that didn't make no sense. And cha-ching.
Did you see that? You see that comment? Look at the comment in the chat. I'll go say the same thing.
Yeah.
Comment. I don't no comment. What?
Yeah, that guy lost his mind. He didn't resign. He wasn't that far ahead. He just reacted to the situation instead of responding. He did, and now he's got to pay the consequences. That's really what it was, Jerry.
Yeah.
Out.
The comment said that's a resignation. He has nullified his retirement benefits.
Okay, I get that, but I'm just saying, I know he wanted out. Y'all gonna say you don't get paid. I understand he wanted out, but okay, no money, but out.
Listen, well,
and
if I'm gonna do that many years, I want to go out with some money.
Huh?
If I'm gonna be that many, I want to go out with some money. I ain't gonna go out with
union contracts. I don't know what Baltimore union contracts could be. He still might get different things in different areas. He still might get paid. I'm just saying he wanted out. Okay.
He was stupid.
Bad day.
AC and then Tyrone.
Prior to him initiating his separation, I want to say my friend, that cool guy, Carl Sanders.
Yeah.
That wasn't an attempt, or it shouldn't be looked at as an attempt to overstate his power by asking them to leave. You can have a conversation with people. You can request it. He couldn't make them leave.
Okay.
And, I said, when you're able to talk to people and gain voluntary compliance, that's the purpose of police work. Gaining voluntary compliance. When you start to do other stuff, try to make them do what you want them to do, now you're touching on doing things illegal. And you start with good police work, you have less problems.
All right. Y'all help me out with this too, because I don't even see Carl's statement on what y'all's. You and both.
Somebody mentioned earlier.
Will said it, but I don't even see it though.
Yeah. I didn't see it either. I heard him mention it. But and that I know sometimes JT still on.
Yeah, he's.
I'm coming on next.
Okay. Well, you're after Tyrone. Yeah.
Right.
I see him now. He may have whispered to me, yo. So-and-so wanted, if you see him, stop him.
Yeah.
And that may be a reason to want to go get that person. But he ain't gonna never convince me to run nobody over. It may be a reason to go get him, but you going crazy trying to run somebody over like that? That's just way out there.
What kind of heart do you have to do something like that? I just can't see myself hitting someone with a car.
And y'all talk about he can't explain that. He worse than that. Well, in addition to that, he can't explain the accident at the end. Before that, a perfect example of what's wrong with the community and the policing. So he's trying to chase the guy in the street. The pickup truck closed the gap so he couldn't get through. That's the kind of relationship they have with the community right now. Nobody's going to assist you at all.
That is true. That is true. Who do I have? I have Ty and JT.
So I want to, hey everybody, I want to ask you guys a question. If that was a civilian trying to talk to a guy, and then the guy ran from the civilian, and the civilian got in his car and chased him with the car and tried to hit him like that cop did, what would happen? What would be the charge? Because there's going to be a charge, right?
Still with the VTLs and
there's a whole lot of charges, right?
Sure.
So my mind immediately went to, when is this cop getting locked up? Because he's bona fide committing a crime in the broad daylight on video from what we saw in the video. He had no reason to do that. None. Now, unless there's more to it than we saw on the video, but the guy who was taking the video it wasn't from a body cam. It was a guy who was taking the video from the very beginning of the scenario. Am I correct? Is that correct, D? School? So it's not like it's a third outside party. He has no vested interest either way. His video was pure of what happened. So my question is why he should be under arrest, I think, of some sort, because there's no justification. I mean, I know we can't arrest him right there. I hear his side of the story. You know what I mean, Mark? Does that make sense, Mark? Am I saying it right, Mark?
I was gonna just say I agree with you, Ty, but we all know that even if an officer does something wrong,
right?
There's a process.
Yep.
And even though the public wants it done right then and there, the police department or that municipality is required to do an investigation. And just like in court, you have to build a case against the officer and let that, because if the officer, say all of a sudden the chief came in the next day and say, hey, you're fired.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Right.
I saw what you did on the video. You're fired. Now, JT can turn around and sue the police department.
That's right.
Because he wasn't found guilty the right way.
That's right.
So there's a process, especially in police departments that have a union.
Right.
Some departments don't, and things are handled differently. Also, if you're in a right to work state, we've talked about that numerous times.
That's right.
On this Zoom. Or if it's the right to work state, they can come in and they can chop you at the knees a lot quicker. But in other states, they can't. Yeah, I see you, Jim.
Thank you.
Yeah, my mind went to criminal activity right away. But this is a blatant example of a police officer not understanding one of the rules that we learned in the academy, that you must have thick skin. He's not talking to you personally. He's talking to the uniform. This guy don't know you from a hole in the wall. If he calls you a jerk, he don't know that you're a jerk. He's calling the uniform a jerk, and you must treat it as such. And that's what I wanted to make sure I said. We all agree that my mind was a criminal activity, but then immediately realized process, as what Mark just said. Thank you.
Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, I think now we're talking about a different area of this issue, and I think Kyle would back me up on this. If you're thinking that the cop should immediately be charged with something, let's just really kind of look at the facts here. What is the cop going to say he was doing? In any which way do you think he's going to say I was trying to run that kid down? He's going to say, I know what he's going to say. He's going to say I was trying to catch him. I was going to try to catch up to him. He's too fast. Look at me. Look at my shape. I had to use the car to catch him.
That's exactly
so
right.
It's not a slam dunk case.
Of course not.
Nope. It's not like something that you want to say, well, let's cuff the cop up and charge him with attempted murder. It's not that simple. You'd have to have a total in-house investigation. And maybe, the department would bring the DA's office into it as well for the investigation. But for anybody that may be listening to us to think that an arrest on the scene should have been made, that's not the case.
And that's the reason why I posed the question, Jim. I know how the general public thinks.
Right.
That's why I prefaced the question that they were both two civilians, and then I wanted to show the parallels of how it's not the same, because we are required by law to go through a process no matter what. That's exactly why I did that question. Thank you, Jim.
Let me see. I have JT, and then you was after JT, Jim. I don't know if you still want me to keep your hand up there or not, but you were after JT.
I want him charged for cutting the line.
Great. No, go ahead, JT. Go ahead. We got to hear JT, y'all. Come on.
Thank everybody for the prayers you're giving me and my wife. That's very helpful. But we don't know why that cop was chasing the guy, first of all. If he was wanted for murder or something like that, I'm sure it's all right to run his ass over. Even though you're using a car, it's chasing a guy that's wanted for a murder. He's a violent felon. He's wanted. You're using deadly physical force when you try to hit him with the car. I don't think that's a problem. You know, especially when you're 60, 55 years old and chasing somebody.
That's
but the problem I have is when you want a group to move, you park where they are. They don't want to be around you. So you park where they are, and I'm going to tell you, it works. I used to work post 4 on the Heights, where I was born and raised. You pull a police car up to a group, they shooting dice, selling drugs, drinking beer.
They gonna stop.
They'll move. They'll move. You'll be back later. Sit there again. They'll move. You don't have to tell somebody I want this corner, which is the proper way. Say, look, fellas, I want this corner. You know, if they don't know what you're talking about, they'll follow everybody else when they start moving. But to tell somebody to come here and let him run, hey, GOA, girl, what the fuck? I'm gonna chase somebody because they ran for me and they did nothing? That's the police problem. They want to put their hands on you. They want to make like they're your daddy. Who's your daddy? I'm gonna tell you to do something, you're gonna do it. I don't give a shit if you do it or not. But I'm gonna be here if you do it. You know, a lot of cops got that. I'm gonna get out the car, they're gonna all move. I don't give a fuck if you move or not. I'm gonna sit there until you move. But if a guy did, well, I think you was the one that said, shoot back at me.
Officers, for example, had to go through. They had to hire.
And I have no reason for chasing him. I am
Hey.
going to shoot back at him. I mean, if I didn't hit him with the car, I didn't try to run him over. I was just trying to, like Jim said, catch him. And he turns around and shoots at me. We shooting. That's all I got.
All right. Listen, I think that's it on that discussion. Unless someone else has anything else, we're gonna move on to the next video with
We
the
got some
7.
comments about that discussion.
Please hit it, Will. Hit it for me.
Carl Sanders said the Hispanics hang out at every Home Depot and they are never asked to move. I put a comment in the chat. It's a little bit different in that circumstance. One, that property is private property. So it has to be someone in control of that property to make a complaint about moving those folks along. And specifically because it's Home Depot, in the Hispanic culture, particularly as it relates to them working, a lot of them operate as day laborers, and a lot of people that come through Home Depot to get supplies, they're also looking for reliable day laborers. So that has become more of a cultural necessity to take place at certain locations where you know you can go pick up day laborers. So to that point, Carl, that's why it's a little bit different, but we understand your point. Richard Bowden says, when I carried legally, if that cop had tried to run me over, I would have shot him with extreme prejudice. That's 6,000 pounds versus my 250. The SUV is out of my weight class. That's classic, Richard. And then Carl says, Donald, when are we going to make our movie Pastors and Pistols in the Pulpit?
Who said that?
Carl Sanders.
Carl.
Crazy Carl.
And
that's my ex-neighbor.
And let's see. Richard Bowden says the necessity defense, this is an affirmative defense that must be proven by the defendant, arguing that they had no other reasonable choice. The specific requirements vary by state, but generally include a reasonable belief that the action was necessary to avoid imminent harm and lack of other adequate means to avoid the harm. Now, that's where the stand your ground law may be different from one state to the next. What Richard is describing is the responsibility of the gentleman on the ground to do everything short of deadly force to avoid that threat. And stand your ground states, they're saying, you don't have a responsibility to try to avoid it. You can actually meet deadly force with deadly force.
No duty to retreat.
No duty, exactly. No duty to retreat. I think that pretty much catches us up with comments.
Yes, let me say this. I thank each one of you guys because you guys bring something very important to it, and where some of us will fall short and not see, you will bring it to where we can see it. And that's what we're trying to do with the community as well. So really, for those who are listening to us, it just lets you know that everyone is not perfect with the law at all. And there's always room for growth for all of us. And believe me, I'm first online to learn. I'm first online to learn. I have no problems with learning and understanding. Even in ministry, I have 4 guys that I look at as my mentors. When I'm having an issue with ministry, I got 4 people I can go to. Listen, this is what I'm dealing with. How do I do this? You know why? Because I don't know it all, and neither do they. That's why there's 4 of them. But let me go with Mark real quick. Mark.
Yeah, so in Hempstead, we did have a problem with the day laborers hanging around Home Depot. But as long as they were orderly, didn't bother anybody, didn't threaten anybody, didn't aggressively come at them, trying to help them. They used to sometimes, some of the guys, not all, intimidate the women by saying, hey, let me help you with your cart to your car. And then they would expect money and intimidation. So stuff like that we would handle, and we would bounce them out, or we would make an arrest when we could. But just the fact that you're hanging out at Home Depot, and like Will said, it's private property. You're there to get a job. You know, a lot of times people don't realize pickup truck pulls up. A contractor has only 3 guys. He's got a large job. He's going to go to Home Depot. He's going to pick these guys up. A lot of them are good with cement work and other type of carpentry and stuff like that. So they pick them up. So like I said, as long as they're not causing an issue, it may be unsightly, you know, especially if you get a large group, it may be unsightly. But if they're not breaking the law, we normally, as police, we don't deal with them. And we let the, Home Depot know, listen, they're there and they're orderly. But once they become disorderly or we get complaints, then we have to act on it.
Absolutely. For those who don't know, Mark did serve as a deputy chief with the police department. So he's not just talking off the cuff. I just want you to know that, listen, officers had to answer to him. Supervisors had to answer to him. Jim the same way. So I don't want anyone to think that some of these guys on here just talking off the cuff. They're talking about the way our policies were, at least in the village of Hempstead. All right. Next, the next video was the 17-year-old was charged with well, let's go with that. Who wants to give a background on it? So they would know what we're looking at. You Will?
Yeah. So the picture that we see right here is in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This young man at the time of the alleged crimes was 17-year-old high school student, and he was charged with 10 counts of various crimes associated with assault and sexually related assault. He was found guilty or responsible for his actions, and they rolled back his guilt to put him under juvenile penalty. So he will not serve even 1 day in jail. Now, what is particularly interesting about that, particularly in my state, we had rolled back to where we had 16 and 17-year-olds that were automatically being bound over for adult court at the time of arrest. And the state finally pushed that back to say 16 and 17-year-olds should be treated as juveniles unless extenuating circumstances that are vetted through the court system that moves them up to adult level prosecution. So the question a lot of folks are having here, given the number of counts he had, multiple victims, the severity of his offenses, what's the explanation as to why he gets off as a juvenile at 17 years old?
Let's go.
Roll that beautiful beam footage.
The privileged kid from a connected family who was charged as an adult with 10 felonies back in March and who pleaded no contest to them in August. But by then, in the eyes of the state of Oklahoma, Jesse aged backwards from adult to youthful offender. And that meant the 78-year prison term that Jesse received also aged backwards. It was suspended, all 78 years suspended. And it was replaced by community service and counseling and a curfew.
Oh,
and if he keeps his nose clean until he turns 19, and he's 18 now, his record will be expunged. You won't be able to search any of the crimes that he committed. And can I tell you those documents? Wait for it. This is a sweet deal for sure, right? But he didn't know, and his mother didn't know that either, when Stillwater police showed up to take him away. She may not even have known why the police were there, though it's hard to believe that Jessie didn't, and it's hard to believe, based on what you hear her say at the top about what you're about to hear, that she didn't know anything. Here's Jessie Butler's so-called awful experience being held to account for his rapes.
We're ready to honestly tell our story too.
Yeah.
Jess, it's Mom. Open the door. It's me.
And if you'll just have him step out.
Okay. Give me your wallet and phone and stuff. So, okay. Your what?
They're in the car.
Well, okay, it's fine. It's not locked or anything, is it? Okay. So, can you tell him what you just told me, or?
Yeah, so we're here. We're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact a bondsman, and you shouldn't be very long, but there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs. So turn around for me.
You have to put him in handcuffs?
Violent arrest anytime we transport somebody into community custody.
You know we're going to win this. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll get you out. For me? All right. Stay silent. Rick knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's on his way. We're coming to get you, okay? Stay strong, okay? Say your prayers.
Okay, so he's going to go right to the city of Stillwater jail, and if you'll just contact her, then she does this all the time. She knows what to do.
Yeah.
Make sure
Okay.
she knows Stillwater Police Department, not a county.
Stillwater Police Department
We're the ones
on
that-
Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them know that we're the ones that picked him up.
And
They
when
don't-
you say we are the ones.
Stillwater PD.
Stillwater PD.
Yeah,
Okay.
that way they don't think he went like straight over and covered the county.
Awful experience for a child.
Gonna pat you down and spread your feet for me. Nothing in your socks.
Besides that arrest video, the court released a thick stack of affidavits and motions and orders, and I could have spent the whole hours on these horrifying details in these papers. Details leading to charges of sexual battery, forcible oral sodomy, rape by instrumentation, domestic assault, and battery by strangulation that led to that. That surgery right there on that girl's neck. And a half dozen other charges. And then they added one more charge, right? Before he pleaded out, Butler was also charged with violating a protective order. Just imagine what you're facing, and you violate a protective order. Anyway, the court documents are completely harrowing and extraordinarily detailed as to what Jesse Mack did to these girls, with a doctor concurring. You can read everything on our website after the program. Understandably, there's outrage in the community about the sweetheart deal that Jesse Butler got. And a rally is planned on Wednesday outside the courthouse where that happened. Organizers say they're protesting, and I quote, injustice in our legal system.
Thank you for watching.
Let me first start by saying we are not related. Start by saying that we are not related. That's Jesse Butler, but that's not my brother. That's not my family. Jim, Rich, Will, and Cheech. I think that's the order. AC, am I good?
Obviously, this is an absolute travesty of justice all the way around, on every level, all the way around. I mean, it smells like this guy had some contacts in law enforcement or in the justice system, because I cannot, for the life of me, after listening to that second part about this big list of stuff and the terrible actions that he did, this wasn't like a simple date rape or something, and he was 17 and she was 16, or that kind of thing. This was outrageous torture, rape, sodomy kind of things. So
strangulation.
For him to get that kind of a deal,
nothing.
You better turn over all the rocks, because you're going to find some connections in there somewhere. That's all I'll have to say about it.
Thank you, Jim. I agree with you. Rich? You're on mute.
I'm muting right now. Yeah, I agree with Jim. This is totally horrible. I mean, basically a serial rapist, assaulter. He should be under the jail and charged as an adult. But this is not the case. Like you said, he this kind of reminds me of that case. Remember in 2013, that kid Couch was his name. He got off on affluenza. They said he was he was privileged.
Yeah.
He was drunk 3 times the limit. He killed 4 people in a car accident, injured 2 others, I believe, and he was given probation. This reeks of that kind of case, but this is worse. And there's no justice here. I mean, I don't know how you spread it. You see that girl's neck? I mean, hopefully they can file civilly. That's all they got at this point, and make that family penniless or bankrupt or whatever. Get whatever they could get out of them at that point. This is injustice. And this is the kind of stuff that we're here for. You know what I mean? Because we're against injustice, and this is unfair, and people have gone down for less. And this guy's totally getting off. And you could, we size people up and we kind of look at people and see what's going on with them. I look at this guy and I just see a sick person who at the very least should be in some kind of mental facility. I don't see I look at those eyes and I don't see a real soul.
Don't blink.
That's just the way I feel about it. And what's going to happen is he's going to continue to do stuff like this the rest of his life until he actually is held accountable. And this is the point where they should have stopped it, and nipped it in the bud at this point. After all these crimes, 78 years he was eligible for, and he's getting 0 probation. Nah, injustice. That's all I got.
Will.
We've been hearing a lot of conversation about what equal justice under the law is supposed to look like. And we've been seeing areas of the country that get characterized as being lawless, when in a lot of instances they are executing their constitutional rights. We're seeing areas where we're having to take a stronger stance in regards to supervision of children, and they're gathering, and then some usually low-level offenses take place out of that. But we can't separate this out from that, because you have a clear-cut case of this young man's crimes for which he took a plea to. And you heard the officer when they came to the house to arrest him. She said where they're going to be, and he probably won't be there long.
Right.
The fix was on. And I have to ask you all, our listeners and even our panel, take a look at how many states have changed their laws to revert back to where 16 and 17-year-olds, well, you only had a couple of states that were still counting 16 and 17-year-olds as adults. North Carolina was one of them, and the legislation changed. And now that we've had an uptick, Cheech, I know you working. Okay, he's not still with us right now. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Cheech works with the Winston-Salem Police Department, and part of what they do is to address the concerns about the underage kids. But North Carolina is now trying to roll back, if they haven't already rolled back the law, to automatically consider 16 and 17-year-olds as adults. Now, Oklahoma, I hate to bring up the political implications, but Oklahoma is a conservative state. And the whole law and order argument, they like to utilize as a foundational issue. Where's the law and order, y'all? I don't see it.
All right. Thank you, Will. Cheech and D.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. What I want to add, I feel sorry for his next victim because we have not seen the last one. This kid, everything that he did, he's going to do again. You can tell that type of person, that's not normal. He is going to commit the same crimes again. So I feel sorry for the next victim. This is just a tragedy. That's all I wanted to add.
I agree with you, and we're gonna come up to our last one. D.
So I just want to say really, really quick. Most of you guys said it. We're gonna see this guy again, and it's going to be worse. If you understand the psychology of crime, we're going to see him again, and it's going to be a lot worse. And all of those that are waving the youthful offender flag right now, I need to hear from them then. When we have a much bigger situation, they didn't say counseling. They didn't say the youthful. They're not gonna send him to Spofford or in the Bronx. They're not gonna send him somewhere where he can get some help or maybe realize what he's doing is not a good thing. They let him. They pat him on the back and said, "Attaboy. Wait a little while, stay out of trouble, and then you can do it again." He has a problem, and nobody's addressing the problem. Can I do one more video real quick? A good guy video. Good guy video. Good guy. Only 20 seconds, and we almost at the end. Yeah. You guys know when you get stopped for DWI, we give you an assessment test. And this is the way Will used to do his assessment test when he was out there working the road. I just want to give you. It's like
Actions, watch close, knees bent, back flip, land straight into the split. Hold it, then pop back up smooth like this. Second flip for good measure. Boom. All right, let me show you exactly what I'm asking. Standard field sobriety test, balance coordination, follow directions, watch close, knees bent, back flip, land straight into the split. Hold it, then pop back up smooth like this. Second flip for good measure. Boom. All right, let me show you exactly what I'm asking.
Before he shaved his head.
But D, where the push-ups at?
You didn't see him? He did it so quick. You didn't see him?
No, I missed him.
Hey, listen, our pants would have split.
I'd be in the hospital.
He had stretchy pants on, and listen, and then we would all have pulled muscles after that one. Oh, goodness.
At least.
Oh, wait a minute, real quick. The last one, Richard Bowden. In regards to the Oklahoma case, the kid's father is the former director of football operations at Oklahoma State University.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go. Well, listen.
Explains
he
it
must
all.
be a big guy because that kid was big.
Big boy. Real big boy.
Everybody.
But listen.
Tickets to the game.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
I said everybody on the department is getting tickets to the game.
I know you didn't say that. No, you didn't.
But look at this. We did not know that.
Right?
But look where your mind went. No, you didn't know it. You were guessing and thinking, and Jim even said it. You just keep on turning over the rocks. You know, so
something was there.
So we didn't know it, but we could see it, but we didn't know it. Now let's look at this.
Knew there was a pass.
Listen, some things just don't seem right. It's not right.
Nasty.
I mean, 10 felony counts and you walk away with community service?
Yeah.
78 years to community service?
It's an atrocity.
And that's not free game tickets. That's overtime for game day.
So here's another question. Where did he get the inclination to be that disrespectful towards women in general?
Probably
You see that woman that was helping him go pick him up?
Saw his daddy doing it. I'm just saying.
Which say AC?
You saw that woman that's gonna go pick him up?
Yeah.
That's where he got it from.
He watched his daddy be disrespectful for a lot of years. I'm sorry, guys, but okay, my bad.
Jerry, I can't confirm that, but I'm telling you, that's what my mind is thinking. He's seen that behavior somewhere.
Before.
Tolerated.
Somewhere before.
Yep.
Excused. Mm-hmm.
Hey, while we're on breaking news, the sandwich guy who was protesting Trump, who threw the sandwich on the federal officer and got charged with 4 different crimes, he was found not guilty. We knew that was coming, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Hey,
Listen,
hey, David, you're gonna need bail. I see you're in custody. You're being driven right now.
Dave, Mark's talking to you, Dave.
It's his Thanksgiving girlfriend is
What'd he
driving him.
say?
Okay.
What'd he say?
I said you're gonna need bail. I see you're in custody. You're being driven somewhere.
and I said it's his Halloween girlfriend driving him, so he okay.
Well, you ain't right.
You know.
Yeah.
This guy.
I'm getting tired of you already. Mark, get back in crab eating shape, I see. You got
Dave,
back in shape quick.
Dave, always good for a clap back, man.
All right. Well, listen, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I got a good crowd here today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Making time to get here. Because there's times I can't even make it here, and I have my backups. I have my backup. Derek is out of town, but I always have my backups. My go-tos.
Missing Melba and Cheryl and Reverend, our Reverend. We missing. They were here last week. Miss Small.
Yeah, well,
I know.
Not all of them were here last week.
Okay. I was here last week, which is good.
Well, you named some other people, but they wasn't here. But listen, I know I was talking to some. Who was here?
Cheryl was here last week.
That's the Cheryl and Cam. That's it.
In camp, yeah. Melba was
Yeah.
still this. I was missing Melba a lot.
Melba quit, and Troy is about to get axed. Troy is about to get axed. Troy about to get the X.
Oh, okay.
I don't care what Troy said. Troy keeps saying, "Hold on, man, keep me there." I'm all right, Troy. You're gonna get cut off from the chat and everything.
It's been a minute.
But thank you guys for joining. And I know some of you guys can't make it all the time. I know that. I can't make it all the time. I do what I can do and then try to get D to get us going and get us running, or Will, or AC, or Rich to get us going. So I thank God for you guys. Pray for each other. Pray for one another. Pray for our nation. Pray for our police department. Pray for Mitch Rubenstein's family. Because death is so difficult. It's difficult. And when I think about this is a guy that I worked with. We worked side by side with each other. We rode bikes together. I mean, he was a little crazy at times.
Mitch.
But he was Mitch, and anyone who knows him knows that he was a firm guy, and that if you were ever in a situation, if Mitch was there, he had your back.
You could count on him.
Right now, he had your back to no end. So I appreciate people like that would always be there to help another police officer in a situation. Mark?
Yeah, I just also want to acknowledge that he was also a veteran. Veterans Day is coming up. He was a veteran. I forget which rank sergeant he was.
Command Sergeant Major.
Command Sergeant Major. Okay.
Sergeant Major.
Wow.
Oh,
is that a Marine or is it Army?
Army.
Okay. Thank you.
He
was a canine trainer also.
His wife was also a Command Sergeant Major.
Okay. God be with her and the family.
Yeah.
Yep. She's good. She's a good person too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's good. She's a good person too. All right. So we're praying for that family. We're praying for the police department that lost another soldier. So
yes.
All right. So let us pray. Those on Facebook Live, thank you so much for joining us and being with us, taking time with us. Sister Beverly Beverly Wells, we're praying for you, your grandson. I hope he's getting better, feeling better. We're praying for your whole family. Let us pray. God, our Father, we thank you again for allowing us to come together. We thank you for Roll Call, Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations. We thank you for every person that's on our panel, and then those who are on Facebook Live and those who hear us on YouTube. We pray to God you will continue to bless us. And we pray to God that we will always give words of encouragement. Even though we see some things that are not right, we still want to encourage people to work with the police and the police to work with the community. We pray for safety on both parts, on our community and our law enforcement officers. We thank you now. We praise you now. And if it be thy will, we'll see you again next week. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.